What is up, guys? Jordan here with the Deck Box, coming back to you with another Forbidden Light deck profile. And today we are looking at Greninja Zoroark. This is a list I'm very, very excited to be profiling. I'm not going to waste too much time introducing it. I'm going to let the deck do the talking for itself. But as usual, as you see, it says timestamps available in the description. Please, if you want to just rush to get the list real quick or check out the Pokemon on the list, you can hop there. But it's always a good idea to kind of stick through the video to kind of hear the thought process behind this, so you understand how to play the deck with the way I built it. So without further ado, we're going to hop into the list, and we're just going to get started. So starting off, we do play 333 Greninja line, Greninja GX line rather, from the new Forbidden Light set. It's a very cool line. I'm pretty excited about it, but we're going to start off first talking about the basics, the basic of the deck, or the the basic of the line, that's the word, and that is Froakie. So right now we're in another one of those debates, which Froakie do I play, which basic. We still have the Froakie with 60 HP that has Bubble, which you can paralyze your opponent with a coin flip, and now we have two new Froakies. This one with 70 HP, as you see, on the screen, and then there's another Froakie from the set coming out with 50 HP, and the ability Frubbles allows you to attach water energy and you get free retreat that turn. I'm just always a fan of more HP is better, typically. And right now 60 HP is just, it's not good enough. 60 is really easy to hit. 70 is even pretty easy to hit as well. But to me, not as many things can hit 70 right out of the gate. So I chose to go with the 70 HP Froakie for now. We'll figure out more in testing later on, which is actually the best, but I believe right now the 70 HP is probably the better option, considering the core of this deck will not be Greninja, rather it'll be Zoroark. From there, we do have, of course, 3 Frogadiers, and has the ability Quick Shuriken. When you play this card from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. So this is a great snipe. If you're already starting to do some of the math in your head, like I said, we're playing Zoroark, full bench and choice band's 150. You play down a Frogadier, that's 20 damage, that brings you to 170. So that's a Lele. You play down 2 of these in one turn, that's 190. That's a Buzzwole. Play down 3, that's 210. That's another Zoroark. That's another Gliscopod. That's another Lurantis, Espeon, Sylveon, Glaceon, Lycanroc. Just the potential goes on and on and on if you hit these things right. And we're playing Zoroark, so drawing through our deck is not going to be the hardest thing in the world for us. So I think that's definitely a possibility. But moving on to Greninja GX, the ability is Wind Shuriken. When you play this card from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may put 3 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. So again, I just talked about those numbers. So now Zoroark can potentially hit for 150. With this is 180, 210, 240. It just stacks over and over and over. The numbers here are really good with the sniping to pair with Zoroark. It makes for some easy knockouts, some spicy knockouts, which I think is just really solid. And then, of course, let's not forget, Greninja has a couple attacks, both for water and DCE. Haze Slash does 110 damage, and you may shuffle this Pokemon and all cards attached to it into your deck. So this is great on 2 fronts. One, it allows you to protect your Greninjas if maybe they're about to be knocked out or something, or protect some resources that you want to keep in your deck for a little bit. And then, of course, you can reuse the ability if you're able to get the cards back into the deck and then get them back out, and just keep cycling. So you use that with Zoroark, you use this attack maybe for a nice knockout, shuffle back in, do it again, do it again, do it again. And it's just always great to be able to use use an ability more than once. And I think this attack definitely has a lot of synchronization with the ability. And then the GX attack, Shadow Assassin GX, this attack does 130 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. The more I look at this GX, the more I really like it. Chances are you're going to get multiple evolutions in one turn. So you hit 130 to a bench Pokemon. Let's say it's a Buzzwole. Let's throw a Buzzwole as an example. So let's say you evolve 2 Greninjas in one turn. That's 60 damage on that Buzzwole. You're swinging for 130 on the bench Buzzwole. That's knockout. From 2 snipes and then a sniping attack. That's just really good. I mean, especially if you consider you can Guzma and stall something in the active and then take this big knockout on the bench. It really is good. And let's say you got a Frogadier and a couple Greninja in one turn. That's 80 snipe damage right there. With this snipe, that's 210. You can take down the Zoroark. just a lot of cool potential with these cards that I think we're going to see in the coming days. So moving on, we're going to get into the Zoroark line now. It's pretty hefty, 4/4 Zoroark, 4/4/1 Zoroark line rather. Has a trade ability, so you're able to dump one card during your turn and draw 2 from your deck. Really solid. That's how we're going to get our Greninja pieces. That's how we're going to speed through our deck and get the resources we need. And then of course Ride is Beating. This will be your main attack for the deck. This attack does 20 damage for each of your Pokemon, in play. So potentially 120, as I've talked about, 150 with the Choice Band, and then all that snipe damage paired up with it can just really do a lot for you. And then we do play one of the Breakthrough Zoroarks with stand-in ability. The stand-in ability, of course, is great. You don't want to get your Greninja stuck there. You're able to bring this guy into the active, and really your goal is to attack with him as well. He has a really good attack, 10 damage plus 30 more damage for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So potentially 160 out of the gate, Choice Band 190, and then I've already talked about the sniping. So it just kind of builds and builds and builds with these Pokemon, and these quick just DCE attachments really make these Zoroarks very valuable. Then these are our support Pokemon. 2 Tapu Lele, of course, for the Wonder Tag ability. We want to find our Guzmas, we want to find our Bridgets early on to get some Froakies and some Zoruas out and set up. And so Lele is definitely very necessary. Then, of course, a Mew EX. This allows us to have that psychic weakness against things like Buzzwole, against things like Lucario, and it's just a quick setup of playing down the Mew EX, attaching DCE, and swinging. So that's definitely going to be a great tech card in there. And then 1 Tapu Koko. To me, it just makes sense. We have this sniping ability, so let's use this sniping Pokemon potentially as an early starter to kind of set things up and hit some solid numbers throughout the game. From there, getting into our supporters, nothing too special here. A 3-2-1 lineup of Cynthia, N, and Sycamore. We don't need too many draw supporters in this list because it is a Zoroark list. And we're potentially getting 8 cards each turn, as long as we discard 4, which is not bad. We have lots of cards that we won't need throughout certain matchups, so we can dump those and draw through 8 cards per turn, potentially. So what's great is all these supporters do different things. We get to shuffle, draw 6, then we shuffle based on our prizes that can disrupt our opponent as well. And then, of course, Sycamore, discard, and draw 7 is just a really great way to really dig through your deck. And I know 7 and 6 doesn't sound very different, but believe me, when you've been playing this game for a while, you start to realize just how much that extra card means. Moving on from there, 3 more supporters, I guess. They're not really our draw supporters. So we have Guzma, of course. That's our Gust effect right now. This is really great because it does a couple things. 1, we get to choose what knockout we want to take, and 2, we don't have to leave a Greninja or something stuck in the active that we don't want there. We won't want Lele stuck there in certain instances. So this is really solid to take the knockouts that we want to take. And what's great is with a sniping deck, we can stall something in the active with Guzma and then snipe the bench and take easy knockouts that way. Then from there, we do play 3 Bridget, and of course, if you've been around for any amount of time, you realize that you'll be searching your deck for 3 basic Pokemon or 1 EX Pokemon, but really you're going for the 3 basics, probably some Zoruas and Froakies and things like that to set things up. This will be our turn 1 supporter primarily. That's the goal. And if we don't get it turn 1, it's kind of slow us down a little bit. So that's why we play such a heavy count. Along with the Leles, we should be able to draw into it. Then we play 1 Acerola. It just makes sense to me to play this because we're going to have support Pokemon in play that we don't want to be knocked out, one of which is Greninja. I consider that a support in this deck because you're really using it as the sniping. And for a lot of time, it's just going to be sitting there. And people are going to try to take it out. It has 230 HP, so it's a really good chance it's going to be a 2-shot. So using this Acerola to get it out of there, out of harm's way, is really great. You don't want to give up too easy prizes. And then from there, you can reuse the abilities and set them up. Then we're looking at some item cards. For Ultra Ball, pretty self-explanatory. We need to search out our Pokemon. This is how we do it. For puzzles, with it being a Zoroark list, we're going to be dumping things that we want to get back at certain points. So this allows us to recycle those. We can recycle supporters. We can recycle energy. So this allows us to play lower counts of things and kind of fit a lot more into this deck. Then from there, I do play 2 Super Scoop Up. Really, I'm just trying to get my Greninjas back because, like I said, I want to reuse the ability, and at the same time, I want to add some longevity to my Pokemon. I don't want to give up easy prizes, and Super Scoop Up will allow me to protect those throughout the game. Then from there, I just play the one Aqua Patch. This is just kind of for a tight situation to be able to set up a Greninja really quickly and get it going if I need to. Then I do play 3 Field Blower. Obviously, we have lots of abilities in this list. Between our Greninjas, our Lele, Mew can't attack if abilities are locked, Zoroark's trade ability, just lots of abilities in this list. So having the Field Blowers is very critical to this deck running appropriately. I would not be upset if you decided to bump this to 4 at some point. Moving on from there, our tool cards. We have 3 Choice Band. This is very integral to our deck. I've talked so much about the numbers that this deck can hit, and really it's all possible because of Choice Band. If it wasn't for Choice Band, we have to be looking at extra snipes. Our deck would get a little clunkier than it already is, and that's just never good. So having the Choice Band really allows us to do what we need to do, to be able to take down those Leles easily with just a Frogadier snipe and a Choice Banded Zoroark coming down and just swinging for solid numbers. So really great to include those 3. And then of course 1 Floatstone. There's going to be times we don't want Greninjas in the active or Leles in the active or even Mew, and we need to get them out of there as quickly as possible. Then from there, just rounding things off, our energy count, we're only looking at 3 water energy, and that's mainly because the core of this deck is Zoroark attacking and Greninja sniping. Greninja's not necessarily there to attack, certainly has great attacks of its own, but the core is going to be quick attacks with Zoroark while Greninja snipes, and those 3 water energy are there so that Greninja can attack if we need him to use the GX attack to shuffle back into the deck. Maybe we're playing against a water weak deck. That's why I play those 3 water energy. And then just to close things out, this is the full deck list. This is definitely one of the ones I'm really excited about coming out from this set. I think this could be a very good list coming out in the future. Like I said, the sniping paired with the quick hits from Zoroark, I feel like can really do some good in the current meta. Just taking solid knockouts against Pokemon with this evolving, it seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the list. I hope you choose to take this and maybe tweak with it for yourself, or try it out the way I have it. And let me know how it works for you if you build proxies for these or whatever. Let me know if there's something you would change, if there's something you really liked about the list. And actually what I want to know too, I know we've had a lot of pre-releases, so I obviously want to see your polls. I'm always excited to hear about those. But let me know, out of all the GXs in the set, what is your favorite one coming from this set? There's Ultra Necrozma, there's Naganadel, there's Greninja, there's Zygarde, there's Yveltal, there's Xerneas. Let me know which one's your favorite and why. Is it just for collectability, maybe it's your favorite Pokemon, or is it something about the playability? I think we'll hear more about the playability, to be honest with you. But just let me know. I'm really curious to hear what people are hyping for the set. I have my favorites, but I'm always curious to hear yours. So as usual, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. I truly appreciate it. And if you wouldn't mind, just leave a like on the video for me if you did enjoy it. And please be sure to spread the channel to your friends. Let them know that I am here. I am putting out these videos and doing it as often as I can. And as always, please be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. If you have, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate you coming back and checking out these videos. So guys, until next time, I have been Jordan with the Deck Box, where I want to know what's in your box. We'll see you next time, guys.